Hello everybody, it is Wednesday night in the middle of the week and hope everybody had a great day. This is Chandra from ChandraRankin.com and I'm coming to you out of the Heartland. I wanted to read something to you tonight. Again, it was election night last night and a lot of high emotions, and I thought of this book that I read a while ago. It's called The Holy Man. It's not a particularly religious book, but if you have not read it, it's super short actually. It's a really easy read, but really brings some thought and introspection. And especially today when emotions are so high, I thought of this book. And I flipped through and I'm going to read you a chapter, and it's super short. If you have not heard of this book, it's people that are going on a pilgrimage to see the Holy Man. And like I said, it's not particularly religious, but on the way you'll notice it's not about the destination, it's about the journey, as you know, we all know in life. So it just is interesting because each chapter is, I'll just read you a couple chapter names so you can kind of get an idea what I mean. Most of them are about a person, and they're like 2-page chapters. It's really short. Like the one I'm going to read is Angry Man. There's a chapter called Drunkard, a chapter called Fearful Woman, a chapter called Lovers, Grieving Man, Famous Man. So, I mean, there's a lot of different emotions happening in this book. And again, it's called The Holy Man. It's by Susan Trott. Super short, easy read. It's a small book, but it's under 200 pages long also. The Angry Man. This is describing after he had already seen the Holy Man, actually. And I guess he was feeling like he was gypped. He didn't really get the answers that he wanted to, because each one of these people on the pilgrimage is going to see how the Holy Man can help them. Hey guys, got some men on tonight. Got Wayne and Brian and Dennis. Hello. Hope everybody had a great day. Gonna read, and Roger. I don't think I've had all just men on here yet. So hello. Okay, the Angry Man. And again, this is after he had left seeing the Holy Man and felt like he had waited all this time. A tumult rushed to his brain, breaking blood vessels in the whites of his eyes. He pounded on the door. He shouted at the top of his lungs, "Let me back in! You can't do this to me! Who do you think you are? You fraud! You pipsqueak!" Am I back? Am I back? Okay, so the connection is still weak. Hopefully that will improve a bit. I changed a setting on my phone, so. Alright, I'm back. I'm going to start again because that was a little anticlimactic, I have to say. I was reading the Angry Man chapter of The Holy Man. So, I'm going to start again. Hope you don't mind. Because I was getting all into it. He's angry. Okay? Okay. Okay, so this man had just left seeing the Holy Man. He didn't get the answers he wanted, and he was mad. Okay, so he's pounding on the door to get let back in, which is not going to happen. One pilgrim, when the door was shut behind him, felt enraged. His blood in a tumult rushed to his brain, breaking blood vessels in the whites of his eyes. He pounded on the door. He shouted at the top of his lungs, "Let me back in! You can't do this to me! Who do you think you are? You fraud! You pipsqueak!" Angrier and angrier he grew. He banged on the door, then went down the steps, stomping on the ground, flailing his arms, looking for something to harm, to break, a rock to throw, flowers to trample. But his red eyes were too blind with rage to see a rock, a stick, or a flower. So he roared louder, calling up every vile, vicious, profane, foul word he knew, and he had many at his command, for this sort of temper tantrum was not new with him. What was new was being alone. There was no one to cower fearfully before his wrath, no one to try to placate him, shudder, turn ashen-faced, wring hands, or infuriate him further. So his anger ran out and he began to return to his senses, but an echo was coming back to him from the hills across the valley. His words were coming back at him, fraud, pipsqueak, etc. But the words came not one at a time, as is usually the case with echoes. No. When he fell silent, the entire vile, vicious, foul-mouthed, disgusting tirade came back to him word by word, and at the same time his shadow reenacted his insane dance, his berserk leaping, stomping, and flailing. For the first time he saw how he looked and heard how he sounded, and he was ashamed. He was a man of learning, an appreciator of the arts, a philanthropist, a leader of men, a distinguished person. He'd once been considered a sensitive person. Now he saw himself in all his brutishness. The only thing missing in the playback was his face transmogrified to gargoyle in its anger. The shadow could not give back that image, could only portray his body language, but from that he was able to imagine the rest. He was horrified, and he was cured. Exhausted from his seizure, he sat down on a rock to rest before his descent to the town. The rock was smooth and sun-warmed. It soothed his muscles that were still twitching spasmodically from the fit. Several round gray birds, which the holy man called boulder birds, arranged themselves in a ragged line and struck up a chorus of tweedles and trills, as if for his benefit. He felt happy and grateful. The reason he had come to see the holy man was about his temper. It just makes you feel more calm, doesn't it? Reading the end, just at the beginning, he's all going crazy and berserk and screaming and shouting and things that he would typically do to someone else, and he got a dose of his own medicine. He saw how ridiculous and crazed he acted. But what can this mean to us? This book, like I said, it's about the journey. It's about what you learn about yourself, more than what the holy man can provide to you. You can't learn about yourself from someone else. You have to learn from you. And understanding how crazy and ridiculous you're being. Let anger go. And like I said in this book, it's a wide range of people that are going to see the holy man. But this man had just wrath inside of him. And he hadn't always been that way, but he had become that way, and the only time that he figured this out that he was when he saw kind of that reenactment. He heard his echoes coming back, and he saw his shadow doing that grotesque dance. So even if we have to be aware of how we are first, and then realize that we're the only ones that can change ourselves. And I bring this up too, I mentioned seeing a lot of high emotions today. It was the election last night, as everyone knows. And we have to be self-aware of how we're acting. And because the only person we can control is ourselves. We can't control someone else. We can only control ourselves and improve ourselves. So that was really why I wanted to read that chapter tonight and share that with you. And it is a really good book. Like I said, really short read, The Holy Man, if you can. Hey, Brian. Good to see you. Hi, Lori. Hoping you're having a good night. And maybe I'll share another chapter some other time, but not tonight, because I just wanted to talk about anger. So get that all out of your system. Figure out what you can change in yourself and what you can improve in yourself, and then work on improving it. But you have to recognize it first. So that's all I wanted to tell you about tonight, talk to you about tonight. If you liked it, like, comment, or share. I appreciate everybody that was on here tonight. I had a widely large male audience, which is a little unusual. I appreciate that. So everybody have a great night, and I will see you probably tomorrow morning, and I'll see you in the next video. Love ya. Bye. Hey Margie, I'll say hi before I sign off. I just got finished, but I bet you would like this book that I was talking about. So if you haven't read The Holy Man, check it out. Have a great night, everybody. Bye.